I will never forget when Grandpa and Grandma came to our place last fall and brought their horses. Grandma looked so frail, but yet she was so determined to ride horse with us. So Grandpa helped her on her horse, and Kendra and I got to go on one last horse ride with both of our grandparents. Grandma was always so determined. If she set her mind to something, she was going to do it. Even that chilly fall air could not stop her from doing stuff with the people she loved.
I really love how Grandma has always been the life of the party. She passionately loved us grandkids through her gifts. Every Christmas that we spent at their house, she had gifts for all of us. Even when one of us was forgotten, she would quickly find a present, wrap it, and give it with her huge heart of love. Grandma never failed in having incredible prizes for bingo, adventurous Easter egg hunts, and plans, parties to fill the entire family time. My love for camping, traveling, and exploring definitely reflects Grandma. Some of the best times at Grandpa's house was sitting around a fire and telling stories. Grandma, a hole has been left in our hearts without you here for family parties. But heaven's parties are 10 times better, more beautiful, and full of gifts with you there. I will try to imagine how amazing it is whenever I'm missing you. Love you, Grandma.
Every family get-together, Grandma would pull out the bingo cards and have the best bingo prizes. And we won't forget all the precious, awesome tea parties she put on for all of us granddaughters. She always made them so fun, fancy, and super special. She was the life of the party and always stayed up with us late, playing games and doing all those special memories. I always appreciated your competitiveness in game playing and staying up late with us. I love you, and I wish you could meet your great-grandson.
One memory I had of Grandma and Grandpa was the summer we were out in Minnesota for a family get-together. And all of us cousins took Grandma and Grandpa out to take pictures at a park, followed by a trip to Caribou Coffee, where we all sat around in one big huge circle and talked about our past memories that we've had of them.
Some of my favorite memories of Grandma are I pulled her leg one time by telling her she had walked into the men's restroom. Another time she let Seth join our tea party after he became very sad that he was not allowed to join because he wasn't a girl. Her insistence that we always play outside, and for goodness sakes, please keep the kitchen door shut. You're letting all the cold air out. One summer our family, just our family, went out to Iowa and went on a 16-mile horse ride with them. We all felt pretty miserable towards the end, but it was still fun. Hours and hours of watching the Little Rascals movies, and she always would talk about Grandpa's macular degeneration as immaculate degeneration, which as somebody who works in an ophthalmologist's office, I found to be hysterical.
The summer after I graduated, I lived with Grandma and Grandpa for 5 weeks to work for them and to join them in living everyday life. It was during this time that they introduced me to the magical combination of cowbell vanilla ice cream and fresh peaches, and after that, Grandma always made sure to have it on hand whenever I came to visit. I think she also had a secret goal of trying to match me up with an Iowa boy so that one day I could live closer to her. I loved the zest she had for life and how much she went after it with so much joy. I found it hard to believe when she told me different times how her stomach would get in knots whenever she was excited or nervous about something because she never seemed to worry about anything. I have inherited that trait, but have been so encouraged by Grandma in watching how she kept her humor and go-getter attitude during hard times.
One of my favorite memories with Grandma was right after my mom had Trig and she came to Illinois to help out the family. And she was making us dinner.
So she wanted to make meatballs.
And she was rooting around in our kitchen trying to put it together.
And she asked my parents if we had any barbecue sauce. And we had a jar of that and a jar of hot sauce. And the hot sauce was like bright orange. So she accidentally took the hot sauce and covered all the meatballs completely in hot sauce. And then she got it done and my parents got home. We started eating. After like the first bite, everyone's mouths were just on fire.
Actually, I think Grandma tried it first and if I remember right, there was a nice little whistle after. And then, ooh, that's not right.
So my dad like washed them off, and then they put them back in the oven and heated them back up. And they're still pretty spicy, but
it was really good. We just drowned it in barbecue sauce after that.
It was a great memory. We always look back on it and laugh.
But one of my other favorite memories was when her and Grandpa decided to come out and watch me play softball in Peoria because it was halfway for them. She knew what colors we were, and she went looking. It was a very big complex. She ended up at the wrong field for a couple innings, taking pictures of a girl who she thought was me, but ended up not being me. Thankfully, she realized it and came and found my field and got plenty of pictures there, but that was definitely one of my favorite things.
I was staying at Grandma and Grandpa's by myself one summer for a few weeks, and one day, probably in the middle of the week, she was just like, hey, you know what'd be fun? So if we went camping before the rest of the family got here. And I was like, okay, you have like 2 days to plan a camping trip for the whole weekend. There's no way. Like, there's just no way. And so sooner or later, she comes out with all of her Rubbermaids full of camping stuff. And I was like, oh wow, she's really gonna try to do this. Okay, well, good luck. And then she got Grandpa to help her pull out all the stuff and get it arranged and washed up, and then she soon asked me for her help, or for my help, and we took the horses out to Windmill Ridge, and we spent the 1 or 2 nights there, I think. I was just really surprised that she could pull this whole thing together so spontaneously without any prior planning, just, hey, let's go do this. And she was one for, she loved campouts. We always went camping. And she was just a very spontaneous person and loved to plan random things like that. And it was really special because she took the time, instead of cleaning the house, getting ready for the rest of the family to come, she was trying to make memories for us and have a little camping trip before they came.
I remember when Nate was painting with them and they got a night job in Williamsburg, so I got to go with them one night. Once we got there, Grandpa realized they forgot the paintbrushes, and we also needed gas in the van, so Grandma and I jumped in the van to go get those things locally. After almost running a red light, we got to the gas station safely. When she tried twisting the gas cap off, it wouldn't come. So instead of turning it in the opposite direction with the same hand, she decided her other hand would work better, and it did. After filling up the van, she discovered she forgot her purse at the job site. So the clerk in the gas station was friends with the lady at the store where we were painting. So she decided that we were trustworthy enough to go get her purse and come back to pay. I also appreciated that Grandma babysat for Latasha a lot when I went house cleaning with my mom. Grandma always made sure everyone felt included. Holidays were a big deal and she always wanted everyone at her house. I miss you and love you, Grandma. I can't wait to see you again.
One of my favorite memories with Grandma was playing games late at night, and also she had chemo, so pretty much drained her from energy, though she came back with enough strength to persist and play games with us. I'm pretty sure she made everyone feel included. Alyssa even didn't want to play because she felt tired, but she still persisted her, and eventually Alyssa came.
Grandma, you will be missed. From the wonderful memories of you visiting us in Canada, giving me my first puppy, the adventures we had in your barn and woods when we come to visit. You sure loved a good party, giving gifts, games, and being outdoors whenever possible. Your generous, helpful spirit, creativity, and always trying to get pictures of what's going on, because our memories just aren't what they used to be, have been passed on, as I find myself trying to capture the events around me on camera. I'm sure you're enthralled with the grand party in heaven. Love you, Grandma.
These are memories of my grandma that died. One time Grandma helped me up onto a hay bale, and then she asked me, do you want a snack and a drink? And I said, yes, please. And then she got me a cookie and some apple juice, and she got up there and we talked about our favorite things. One day, me and my dad went looking for gophers and trying to hunt them. So while I was waiting, I went with Grandma and we had a little tea party. Grandma always liked to have a good party with me and she is so special. Love you, Grandma. I love you, Grandma, because you have a great pack of snuggles and I love play, and you have good treats that I like, even chocolate stuff, and I love you so much. Kisses and huggies. I'll see you in heaven.
I remember many times I've had to say goodbye to you. As you packed your bags and headed out, there was work for you to do. And though I missed you terribly, I knew within my heart that with all the love you had for me, we'd never really part. But now today is different. Here I am leaving you. The call has come from Jesus. He said my work is through. And though I know you'll miss my smile and all the love we share, but because you love the Savior too, I'll wait for you up there. And I will see you soon. Oh, it really won't be long before you and I together will lift praises to His throne. Before we walk the streets of gold with your hand close in mine, oh, stay faithful to the Savior, for it really won't be long. Well, I know a mansion's waiting on that hillside up above, and I long to see my Jesus' face, to worship Him in love. So this time when I bid you farewell, it won't be quite the same, but no goodbye can last forever when we're one in Jesus' name. And I will see you soon. Oh, it really won't be long before you and I together will lift praises to His throne. Before we walk the streets of gold with your hand close in mine, oh, stay faithful to the Savior, for it really won't be long. And I will see you soon. Oh, it really won't be long before you and I together will lift praises to His throne. Before we walk the streets of gold with your hand close in mine, oh, stay faithful to the Savior, for it really won't be long.
It was overwhelming to us to know that so many people showed up. We really appreciate each one of you coming, and we thank you for blessing us this way.